there, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Samantha Barrington Show. Today, we're diving into the topic of industrial contamination. I know that this is a serious issue, and that is why we are going to talk about it and bring awareness to issues that affect our wonderful environment and our health. What better way to do that than to have a conversation about it? Today, we have a special guest joining us for this episode, the one and only Zoe Station. Welcome to the show, Zoe.
Thank you so much. I love being here.
So, Zoe, what can you tell us about industrial contamination?
Well, to start off, industrial contamination is the pollution to our global environment, mainly through industrial activities, whether that would be through manufacturing, processing, and among other things.
So, the environment would be through air, the soil, and water, correct?
Correct.
May I ask, what has been affected? What are some times where industrial contamination has affected areas of our world?
There have been many instances. Some would include the Nigerian Delta oil spill, the Love Canal near Niagara Falls, and another big one would be the Chernobyl disaster as well.
Yes, the Chernobyl disaster, that is a big one. Would you mind elaborating on each one for our viewers so those who may not know what each one is?
Of course. So the first one is the Nigerian Delta oil spill.
The Nigerian Delta oil spill, got it.
In the 1960s, there was a pipeline that was built through Nigeria that went through it to an offshore terminal to be barreled and sold. But that pipeline had burst, and from the late 1970s to the early 1990s, over 2 million barrels of oil had been spilled throughout his pipeline burst, which made the region uninhabitable. With the oil spill, there had been also many explosions and fires along the way.
Has there been any cleanup involved in this, or is it hard to clean up something that has been going on for more than 40 years?
Well, the UN commissioned a $1 billion cleanup, but they said that it would take a few decades to reverse the damage. They are currently working on cleaning up that part of the region where the oil had spilled, but it will certainly take a while for them to clean up the whole thing.
Yeah, I bet it will take a long time. What was the second one you mentioned?
The Love Canal.
The Love Canal, right. I wonder why it's called that. Near Niagara Falls, right?
Right.
And what can you tell us about that certain situation?
Well, the Love Canal is an aborted canal project branching off of the Niagara River, about 4 miles south of Niagara Falls, in the state of New York. From 1942 to 1953, the Hooker Chemical Company began using the partially dug canal as a chemical waste dump. At the end of this period, the contents of the canal consisted of around 21,000 tons of toxic chemicals.
Yikes, that's not good. That must have had some bad effects towards the people living there, did it not?
Throughout the neighborhood, there had been a lot more birth defects and miscarriages. Because they had been dumping all of these chemicals, it had been affecting other people's lives.
Did they clean it up at all?
Yes, they cleaned it up by removing the contaminated soil, installing drainage pipes to capture contaminated groundwater for treatment, and covering it with clay and plastic. It was completed in 2004.
Then the last one, the most dangerous and well-known of the bunch, the Chernobyl disaster.
You kind of seem like you know this one. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure, why not? It's so interesting. So the Chernobyl disaster is regarded as being one of the most nuclear disasters in history. In the Soviet Union in 1986, there was a nuclear power plant near Pripyat, and it had exploded, but no one had thought anything of it, cleaning up and watching the fire at the plant. But in reality, many people were affected by the disaster, and many who lived there died because of the effects. As for the cleanup, they didn't really clean up. They just evacuated the population out of the area and let nature take its course throughout the area.
Wow, it's so bad you can't even clean it up. Just allow it to go to the elements.
So, Zoe, are there any technologies that can be used today to help with the industrial contamination?
Yes, actually, one of them being skimmers. Skimmers skim across the water to pick up oil as it is much denser than water. This could be used with the Delta oil spill. Another one of them would be bioremediation. They use microbes to clean up contaminated soil and the groundwater. New technologies like bioremediation and phytoremediation, nanotechnology such as nanomaterials and nanosensors are also being created to help with industrial contamination.
Wow, that's great. What are two technologies that help reduce the emissions from factories?
Carbon capture and storage and energy efficiency improvements.
That's great. That's truly wonderful. Thanks, Zoe, for being on the show, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Subscribe for more of me.
Yes. Like and follow for more. Thank you.